Yes, yes, yes. Good. I like the way that sounds. I like the way it looks. I like everything about it. Here we go, everybody. Yes, indeed. Folks, please share that you are watching. You can always join our broadcasts with the thumbs up as the numbers just continue to climb. Yes, that is true. We were out last night. Hello, one and all. Boy, tough times for Governor Mckee. He is 1 point away from being the least popular governor in the country. How about that? Put that in your pipe and smoke it. All right, we are live on the radio in 1 minute. 1 minute. Yes, yes, yes. Quite a shooting last night. Still waiting on that. Well, folks, good afternoon. Right now, it is 12:06. It is Thursday. You're listening to the John DePietro Show. It's AM 1380, 99.9 FM. You can always listen online, as we like to say, at our website, depetro.com, AM 1380, 99.9 FM. And also, I want to welcome in everybody our live stream on Facebook Live. Find the page, John DePietro Show. Also want to welcome in those on Twitter and also on YouTube as we continue to hit the different platforms. Please share that you are watching. You can interact with others that are watching. Folks, this portion of the program on this Thursday, a little bit of clouds in and out. You just heard the forecast. Brought to you by Rhode Island's #1 garden center. PR Landscape Materials and Garden Center officially open for the season. Stop in and see them. Pansy flats, pansy bags, hangers in bowls, sorted colors, tulips, hyacinthus. You know, maybe right now, today's Thursday. They're open 7 days a week. Maybe you can't get there till Saturday or Sunday. They're open. Tulips, hyacinthus, daffodils. I think they're hydrangeas. My opinion, nicest in New England. Blue, white, and pink. They carry many landscape materials too, including screen loam, black, brown, hemlock, and mulch. Look for them on Facebook. They update their Facebook page constantly. It's PR Landscape Materials and Garden Center. One visit, and you're going to find out why they are Rhode Island's #1 garden center, 3688 Quaker Lane in North Kingstown. We're going to be joined by our friend Janine coming up, Olivia's mom, just about 10 minutes regarding this happy hour legislation that is at the Rhode Island State House. It is interesting that Janine's rep, Justine Caldwell, Republican up at the Rhode Island State House, that she's actually in favor of it and was saying, hey, listen, if people are going to drink, they're going to drink. So we'll talk to Janine. There's also, obviously, folks, you know, drunk driving, as I've kind of talked about in this program, it's one of the things that's not accompanying this happy hour bill is Rhode Island is still at the bottom of the pack regarding enforcing drunk driving. And as I will mention to Janine, we don't exactly, you know, you don't have to reinvent the wheel. All they have to do would be to mimic what they do in Connecticut. Connecticut just has, do you know the state of Connecticut has one of the is considered one of the top 10 states against drunk driving. So all Rhode Island would have to do is just adopt what Connecticut does. So this business of, and we'll wait to hear from Janine about this business of the happy hour provision, but something needs to be done. Governor Mckee won't talk about the epidemic of drunk driving. And as you know, we know our friend, well, poor little Olivia Pascaretti lost her life on New Year's, the first day of this new year. We're going to talk to her mom coming up. Folks, last night we did Facebook Live, One After Dark. We were in Woonsocket, as a matter of fact, and we're still waiting word on exactly what happened. The state police were involved. From what I understand, it was undercover. It was a violent fugitive task force. So obviously something happened. I've seen some video. I'm also become just cautious about posting certain things on social media because they're so sensitive. So, but anyhow, there is, and it would seem that there were 6 shots through the windshield of the person, the perpetrator, the person we believe that they were trying to apprehend. So the state police, last night they announced there'll be a press briefing Thursday morning, 9:00. So one of the things is that took away the press, like, all right, we're going to get some answers tonight. And instead, then they canceled it this morning. So we're still waiting to hear exactly what may have gone on. And we're going to wait and hold off to find out about that. One of the things that we want to find out is whether or not, in fact, the person had a weapon, or if they're basically saying that in some way that they were this individual. First of all, we also want to make sure that it was in fact the proper person. But I think it's a fair question to find out whether or not if they had a weapon, or is this going to be the officer felt that they were using the vehicle as a weapon, which can happen, right? If you're a member of law enforcement, or anyone for that matter, but if you're in the street and someone starts, gunning their vehicle at you, absolutely, a car can be used as a weapon. So as far as that, that's a question in exactly how it is that they identify this individual. So there's, at this moment, we'll monitor the situation as the afternoon goes along. There could be some kind of announcement today. There may not be an announcement today. So we're going to have to wait and see. But again, if you check the website, I do have the video of being there last night. There was an awful lot of bullet casings. It was still a very active crime scene. And at one point, when I first arrived, I counted 25 members of law enforcement. And that was just around the crime scene. They had a lot of the streets blocked off. Folks, you can check out the video on the website, depetro.com, which is brought to you by the Coesit Inn. And this Sunday, the Coesit Inn, they're doing something very special for the Brandy Project, which helps different animals. Check them out, the Coesit Inn. They're doing a breakfast fundraiser. And the inspiration for the Brandy Project was the dog Brandy, who unfortunately passed away. But the Coesit Inn, delicious food, 226 Coesit Avenue in West Warwick. But folks, we do have big news regarding Rhode Island Governor Dan Mckee. Now, Rhode Island Governor Dan Mckee, and again, folks, good afternoon at 12:12. You're listening to the John DePietro Show. Rhode Island Governor Dan Mckee, he is going to, okay, now I'm seeing it. Authorities plan to provide an update coming up this afternoon at 3:00. Now, the only problem with that is I agreed I'm doing something with Newsmax immediately after the program. So, suddenly I was asked to do something earlier and now asked to do something today. I'll have to check. I just checked email and I didn't see anything about it, but I'm going to double check on that. So now they're saying at 3:00 is when they're going to be having some kind of an update. And so I'll have to wait and see with the exactly what went down with the shooting last night. But I posted on the Facebook page. So Governor Mckee is doing a briefing at 2:30. State Police is scheduled a briefing for 3:00 involving Attorney General Peter Nerona, members of the U.S. Marshals, and the Woonsocket Police Department. Police have not said who was shot or given their condition. So they haven't released any significant details, and instead it sounds like more things are going to be answered this afternoon. So, it's just one of those things, folks. You just never know when it's going to be busy. But if you are a Mckee supporter, in this afternoon, Rhode Island Governor Dan Mckee, he is having a briefing with Lieutenant Governor Sabina Matos. But Rhode Island Governor Dan Mckee is basically in Biden territory right now. Rhode Island Governor Dan Mckee is 1 percentage point away from being the least popular governor in the country. Rhode Island Governor Dan Mckee has a 42% approval rating and a 40% approval rating. So that means good news for him is 18% are undecided. 18% are undecided for Governor Mckee. So conversely, Massachusetts Governor Charlie Baker has a 74% approval rating. Massachusetts Governor Charlie Baker is the most popular governor in the country, 74%. The governor of Vermont is number 2 at 72% approval rating. Larry Hogan of Maryland, 71% approval rating. And then you see the governor of New Hampshire, another New England guy, 63%. A lot of Republicans are up at the top. The governor of Tennessee, 58%. Kristi Noem, South Dakota, rising star, 58%. Gavin Newsom of California, 57%. Ron DeSantis, governor of Florida, 56% approval rating. He's got high negative, so 38% negative. But then you have to drop all. How about even the governor of New York, 52% approval rating? Governor of Virginia, 51% approval rating. Governor Glenn Youngkin. You have to go all the way to, how about Gretchen Whitmer, the governor of Michigan, has a 50% approval rating. You have to drop down. Rhode Island Governor Dan Mckee has a 42% approval rating. And here's the bad news for Rhode Island Governor Dan Mckee. The governor of Hawaii has a 41% approval rating, and the governor of Oregon has a 41% approval rating. The fact of the matter is, and they're both underwater, Governor Mckee is 1 percentage point away from being the least popular governor in the entire country. And this is, as more fallout continues with the FBI probe. So, in the governor of Lamont has a 57% approval rating. Now, Governor Mckee at one point was 59%. So that is not good news for the Mckee campaign. Not good news for the Mckee campaign by any stretch of the imagination. Folks, this portion of the John DePietro Show on this Thursday is brought to you, it is grilling season. And I'm not sure what type of condition your grill is in, whether you use charcoal or if you use propane, like I do, or if you use gas, whatever it may be, or electric. But you want to stop into Jay's Broadway Appliance and TV, and it's JS, 47 Cedar Swamp Road, Route 5. You can find them on Facebook, right in Smithfield. Call them 401-949-7800. Tremendous selection. They've been in business since 1963. You're going to deal directly with the owner. You're not worrying or dealing with poor service. You deal directly with the owner. They have a great selection on grills. It's a father and son operation. It's a family-run business. They will match or beat any package type deal. And on Saturday and Sunday, you can make an appointment with them. Their hours are Monday through Friday, 10 to 5. But make an appointment on Saturday. You want a new grill. Maybe you need a new dishwasher. Maybe you need a new microwave or stove or refrigerator or washing machine. Stop in and see them. Folks, shop local, great service, deal directly with the owner. They've been in business since 1963, and they're not going anywhere. They're going to be in business for years to come. Jay's Broadway Appliance, 47 Cedar Swamp Road, Route 5 in Smithfield, right near the Apple Valley Mall. Stop in and see them. And again, what a tremendous selection they have on grills. I was there just the other day. Jay's Broadway Appliance. We're going to talk to Janine in just a moment. Folks, again, visit the website, depetro.com, which is brought to you by Realtor Pat Elston. She has such a great reputation. Caldwell Banker Realty, based in Cumberland, 20 years experience, licensed Rhode Island and Massachusetts. Contact Realtor Pat Elston. Maybe you're thinking of selling. Maybe you want to buy or sell. Contact Pat Elston. You want to deal with a pro. You want to deal with someone, as they say, isn't their first rodeo. You want Realtor Pat Elston. We have a link on the website at depetro.com that links directly to Pat. and you can get a hold of her that way. So we're going to learn more. So this must be in conjunction. The fact that this briefing that they're doing, I would imagine, is so the fact that the U.S. Marshal's Office is involved. That tells me that they were possibly assisting them with some kind of, so, obviously they're trying to get some wanted fugitive who's involved here. So, and I don't know exactly what happened, but this thing certainly seemingly went sideways at some point. As far as that's there's a very good reason why they call it a violent fugitive task force. So, because of exactly that type of scenario of exactly with what happened. So, I want to but Janine, we want to talk to our friend Janine Pascaretti Malloy, Olivia's mom, and we're going to get her on the line right now, simply because, and I give a lot of credit to her and the family. I heard such great things about the family of the young man from West Warwick, but the what that has not happened since we lost little Olivia is there's been no kind of changes, or no one is offering anything to do as far as making the drunk driving laws in Rhode Island any stricter than they already are. But I know that they have spoken out, and we're going to talk to Janine. Folks, it takes a lot of courage, and we're going to give you, folks, join us on the line right now. She is Janine Pascaretti Malloy, who was, of course, as we've talked about so many times, is the mom of Olivia, who was killed on New Year's Day by someone who had been under the influence. So not enough. He knew what he was doing, but definitely had been drinking. And it's our friend Janine. Good afternoon, Janine.
Hi, John. How are you?
I am okay. Always, you are always in my thoughts. As I demonstrated, I was wearing the, Justice for Olivia band, even while I was in Ukraine. Always thinking of you guys. So I want you to know we're following the story every step of the way when there'll be a development. But I wanted to give you a platform to talk about your opposition to this legislation regarding restoring happy hours in Rhode Island.
Well, yeah, absolutely. I think it's an awful thing, an absolutely awful thing. And a lot of that is because of, my family, Matthew Dennison, who was the hockey player from West Warwick. Since then, I've joined pretty much forces with his family.
Good.
Through this, unfortunately, through our tragedies. But, yeah, we're looking at this as, we can't believe that over 50 representatives have proposed this, and then only 10 did not. And it's not, in a perfect world, this would be fine. It's not a perfect world. And there's a ton of instances of drunk driving every day, every single day. So how is this going to be better? And I don't like the fact of somebody who said, we're missing the point. The people that oppose this is missing the point. The people that have not lost a child or a loved one due to a drunk driver, they're missing the point. They're missing it big time. So I was saying, they said, oh, well, it's 3:30 in the afternoon, and they will have wait staff and bartenders, paying attention more, and it's all about they're going to have it with food. And come on, let's be real. Come on. So it's like, East Greenwich, our town here that I live in is a small town, tons of restaurants on Main Street. It's becoming the new Federal Hill, pretty much. And, the times of happy hour is probably the worst time ever to give away drinks, because kids are coming out of school. It's commute time. It's, the kids are going to sporting events. Who knows? Because not everyone is a responsible adult, as we all know.
Yeah.
So not everyone is going to be okay with a few drinks. Most of the people that I would think that are not going to be responsible are going to try to get as many drinks as they can in that allotted amount of time, because It's pretty much free. So I don't understand, when people say we're missing the point. It's very easy to put your head in the sand when you don't have a tragedy happen, which, like us, is the worst tragedy possible for a parent losing a child. So it's very easy to look back and say, no, well, nothing can happen. It's, this is all about business, all about making the extra money. I'm all for making extra money. Great. I'm all for small businesses. I have my own. It's the part about find a different way. They keep saying back in the 80s, it's not going to be like back in the 80s. Back in the 80s, things were probably way better than they are now. And they got rid of it. So I don't know why this is being pushed, and I'm shocked that my representative.
Yeah, I was going to say Justine Caldwell is one of the ones leading the charge on this, Janine.
Absolutely.
Wow.
I actually did an interview with East Greenwich News, and Justine actually put something on the post because it was put on Facebook, and I just said, I came back and I was asking her questions because I have never even met her once. She's never.
Wow. Never even reached out, even after with what happened with Olivia. That's amazing. Wow.
No, well, she sent me a card from the House of Representatives.
Still, Janine, you think one would think, and again, folks, we're speaking with Olivia's mom, Janine Pascaretti Malloy. You would think that if anything, as my rep, you and I share, I would like her to introduce stricter drunk driving legislation. Connecticut has they're considered the top 10 states regarding drunk driving. All Rhode Island has to do is mimic what Connecticut does, and at least would be top 10. She won't even introduce that.
This is the problem because people's heads are buried in the sand.
Yes.
This is stopped when I found out that our own representative in this town, where my daughter, I've been here 16 years. Brought up my here. My daughter's dead. She just died on January 1st in this town that you are representing.
Yes.
And you're proposing something that is so blatantly, I don't know. It's just it's beyond insensitive. It's kind of, I don't know. It's disassociation. I believe it's just like you dissociate from anything that, if it hasn't touched you, I guess you can turn your head and look at the other, look the other way.
You know what else, Janine, is you and I both know that this business that the staffs are supposed to monitor. Listen, small businesses, all we hear is they're having trouble finding staff and finding service. Yeah. And come on, I mean, with everything, they're so consumed with just trying to get regular people, and it's a shortage of workers. The last thing first of all, they can't. It doesn't sound like they can afford to fire anybody, and it's kind of like, so I hear from so many employers in the past, people they would have terminated for not showing up or calling out or terrible work. They can't now because beggars can't be choosers, and there's such a shortage of workers.
You got that right. I heard from we went to this. We had a press conference or meeting with the Dennisons.
Yes, that's yesterday. Terrible. Oh, that poor kid.
Oh,
terrible.
It's awful all the way around.
It is.
It's just, we heard a lot of the restaurants on Main Street supposedly they don't even want it because they're saying we don't have enough staff. We don't have enough things.
Yeah.
Honestly, it's in a perfect land. Like I said, these would all be great.
Yep.
Everybody would just have a couple things, have food, and go. It's not about the people that are responsible. We're not worried about those people.
That's right. Folks, again, we're speaking with Janine Pascaretti Malloy, and Janine remembers, Janine, in that first bail hearing where I met your husband, Dennis, both of us talked about how it's a real eye-opener when you're there. And, the real epidemic in Rhode Island right now, to me, that's not being addressed. Governor McKee's never talked about it. No one talks about it, but it's drunk. The real epidemic to me is drunk driving. The amount Dennis and I watched, it's one right after another. These are people, by the way, on the highway, and they have the translator there, suspended licenses. I think it comes back to, Janine, that I hate to be so pessimistic, but there are so many attorneys at the State House, and a lot of them are like that Archibald. They represent drunk drivers. I think I hate to even say this, but I think they have certain selfish agendas and reasons on why they want this, because they want to have, as frightening as that sounds, but they want to have more drunk drivers on the road to represent.
It's sad, isn't it? But
it
that's
is
exactly what it is.
Yes.
It was a door of how many people got into that courtroom that day.
Yep.
But drunk drive. And what did they do? Slap on the wrist, slap on the wrist, slap on the wrist. Go. you get your license, back. Oh yeah, well, pay a fine. Goodbye. Like, that's what we do. Why do you think there's so many? Because they're not getting any kind of repercussions.
No.
There's nothing.
No.
So,
And I have a problem at this. Here's the thing. If they said, we want to do this, however, we're going to tighten the laws. And, in certain states, you can't refuse the breathalyzer or you lose your license. For instance, Arizona has the strictest drunk driving laws in the country. I've learned a lot about this since what happened with Olivia. I just don't hear anyone at that state house who's supportive of this. And the one thing about the progressives, and our rep, Justin Caldwell, is a progressive. What people need to understand is the progressives, not only do they want to allow something like this, but there was a pretty frightening article in the Boston Globe this week, how they want to legalize prostitution. It's the progressive reps have this attitude. I'll tell you, Janine, they live in a fantasy land. They think that sex workers could be unionized, and this will give them collective bargaining. And the reporter, Amanda Milkovich, to her credit in the Globe, she's on Cranston Street. Like, these people are delusional with their beliefs, but that is kind of the idea that they take. But this happy hour thing, this does not help the families of Rhode Island.
No, not at all. Not at all. It's all about the money.
Yes.
Like do something different.
Yeah.
Do something. Do half-price advertise. But you're exactly right. If this is, if it was a textbook, circumstances, and we could write it all out and everything would be perfect, then yeah, it would be. It's not.
No.
You have two 17-year-old children in the first 2 months of the year.
Yep.
Probably more than that.
Yes.
But we know, yeah, they're more. But no one seems to think about those things unless it happens to them.
Yeah.
That's what people really need to see. They need to see the after effects of what this has done to my family, to Matthew's family. This is horrific. It's horrific, and it's up in the face that they're so, disconnected and so not even caring about the people that they're supposed to be representing. They don't even give it a thought.
No.
It's like supposed to be so much fun. The representative from Woonsocket, the one that introduced this whole thing.
Yeah.
But, she was on there saying how this is like a fun bill. This is fun. This is fun.
You know what else, Janine? If at the State House, if they really wanted to help small businesses, I mean, they could talk about cutting taxes for small businesses. They could talk about cutting taxes for people in Rhode Island. I mean, the state got almost $2 billion. Of course, they never talk about returning money to us. But I want to come back to when Dennis and I were in court that morning. What really just stood out to me is the immune transactional attitude of the whole process. There was one person who needed a translator, and then as the judge is trying to set up the next time, and this was someone pulled over and drunk driving, refused. They all refused the test, by the way, but this was someone who then through the translator even said, "Oh, judge, he's going to be away on vacation. Can they reschedule for another day?" Like this is an absolute. What do you mean he's going to be away on vacation? Yeah.
Oh yeah. Oh, there's so many things that are happening right now that just blow your mind. Like I going into Olivia's case and the Dennison's case, what they do, with this you can just pay your $10 a bail, go out on bail and never see, you're back out on the streets again. I mean, this is crazy. This is crazy.
Folks, again, and Janine, where do things stand with this legislation? Where does it stand right now?
Don't we want to know? That's inquiring minds.
Okay. So it's still being debated? Yeah.
We're still apparently waiting on all the pieces to come back.
Yeah.
And haven't heard anything, but we're waiting. We're still waiting. And we were supposed to get something by March, April. Right. We're now May on Sunday, May 1st.
I don't like the sound of this. One thing, and I'm going to leave Janine at this, but Rhode Island, it's supposed to be, it's a good place to raise a family, and it's supposed to be family friendly. And I just, I think the past few months, what happened to Olivia, what happened to Matt Dennison, I believe not enough is being done to protect children. And whether it be, what you and I both, learned was going on just at the high school with the coaches and what was going on in North Kingstown with these naked fat tests. We need to, Rhode Island leaders need to adjust to become more protectors of children and less adult centric. It's going way too far left, Janine. Everything is like, anything goes and
stop protecting the criminals.
That's
this
right.
Is what
yes.
Doing. Protecting criminals, and the victims and the innocent people
Yep.
are just pushed aside.
That's right.
And I have to fight to get justice for my child.
That's
I have
right.
to fight. I'm grieving her every single day. It's the worst thing that could possibly ever happen in my life.
Yeah.
That I lost the light of my life, and I have to fight to get her justice from a monster that drove her off the road.
Well, Janine, we are with you. And I think it is a good idea at some point in the future to have another rally, keep the support going. Folks, again, she is Janine Pascaretti Malloy. I'm also glad you've hooked up with the Dennisons. I think the two families together, that's a very strong combination. The thing about it, Janine, I'll leave it with this. The people are with you. The problem we have, to me, in Rhode Island is we don't have strong political leaders that truly want to protect families. We just don't. That's a fact.
It's sad, isn't it?
It is.
It's really sad. It's
Janine,
sad.
my best to you, my best to Dennis, your mom, your whole family is terrific, and we'll talk to you again soon.
All right, John. Thank you.
All right, folks, there it is, Janine, who is what they have been through. And again, folks, good afternoon at 12:35. That is the mother of little Olivia, who lost her life with that goon, who is still, and I want people to know, there's just been no developments. He is still at the ACI. He has not been granted bail, but that could be coming. That could be coming very, very, as far as, in July. We're going to find out. But you can believe that his side will be arguing to try to get bail for him. So I don't know what the happy medium here is. But as I've talked about on this show, and again, folks, good afternoon at 12:36. You're listening to the John DePietro Show. It's AM 1380 and 99.9 FM. This portion of the program is brought to you by R.E. Coogan and Heating. It's Coogie, the Coogie Point. Call them today, 401-732-6562. Helpful, trustworthy, reliable. As Coog says, let us into your home. Don't fix it alone. R.E. Coogan and Heating, 401-732-6562. If you have a plumbing problem, heating from winter into spring, and then eventually you're going to want cooling, give them a call. When our hot water tank gave out, boom, I called R.E. Coogan Heating, 401-732-6562. It's Coogie. It's R.E. Coogan Heating. Folks, visit our website, depetro.com. We have the video up of being there last night where they had the state police shooting in Woonsocket. And don't forget, depetro.com, which is brought to you by the Centerdale Revival, comfort food and cocktails. I was there just 2 weeks ago on the Friday night, 2025 Smith Street in North Providence. Great food, great drinks. They're waiting for you. And what a great staff. I really like the staff there and the entertainment, Ron Giorgio, at the Centerdale Revival, comfort food and cocktails. So I want to bring you up to speed on some of the latest stories. That happy hour bill, what's missing from that is, number one, I don't think it should be universal. I don't think it should be across the state. I don't think it should be that way. I don't think it should be across the state. I think, I know I've heard some talk that maybe different communities, but there are people that certainly don't want it. And I do recognize in other states they do have it. California has it. But right now, as I've been saying, Rhode Island, our leaders, they don't do anything to try to make the state safer. It is an eye-opener to sit in court the way that I have been in court, and you watch the transactional nature and just the number of individuals who run into a problem, and it's not their first time either. In the sheer number of them, folks, it's also, I want to tell you, it's frightening to a degree. It is absolutely frightening, the number of people that are out on the roads. And this is not like a back road going home. This is, they're when you sit there, they're getting pulled over. They're getting pulled over on 95. They're getting pulled over on 146. They're getting pulled over on 295. These are, my point is they're traveling at a very high rate of speed. This isn't somebody down at the ocean mist and they're, going 25 miles an hour to try to get to their beach house somewhere down in Matunic. All right, so now this is interesting. Governor Mckee has dropped out of the lineup for the first gubernatorial debate of the campaign season. Now, I put this on Facebook that they were considering boycotting the debates, and now he has dropped out of the first one. Governor Mckee has informed us he will not participate. See, he will not be on the stage with Helena Folks, Nellie Gorbea. Oh, they're doing everyone. Ashley Kalis and Matt Brown. Now, he may say he doesn't want to be on stage with the fact that there's a Republican. But, folks, if you check, so this is interesting. He's withdrawn from the first significant debate. It's RIPEC next Thursday. Begins at 12:30. I think I'm going to go to this. He will no longer be participating. So that's very, very interesting. But again, if you check the website depetro.com, folks, I had predicted this, that they were considering doing this. So I'm going to come back to those and they can try to, it's just a RIPEC debate and something like that. But I don't. That is really something that he is not going to do that. If you go to the website, so this is just coming across right now that he is withdrawn, and I want to pull up because I think I may go to that. There we go. Okay. We'll have to find more details on when the debate is, but he is withdrawn from it. Well, like I said, I want to pull this up. I had said, folks, he may try to get to, now think of this now, and he's doing a press briefing today. I can't. I committed to Newsmax. I said I would go. You can't cancel on people. I don't like when people cancel on me. And so therefore, if I'm booked for something, we have our answer. I put this out. Will he skip the debates? And the answer apparently is yes. Folks, check depetro.com. Growing speculation he may try to reach the September Democrat primary without taking the debate stage and taking part in a televised debate. Source close to the Mckee campaign claims the governor, he has not been happy with his media coverage, has not agreed to take part in any local TV debates. Now he's pulling out of a debate. Mckee has developed two different strategies. One, they're saying, well, we're going to wait and see what the media coverage is like. And then the second thing is, if he's cleared by the FBI probe, they feel then they're going to look back and say, oh, we shouldn't have done the debate because he got beat up during the course of the debate. But the local media is going to have to make a decision. Now, I don't know if RIPEC is going to have the empty podium, but the station that has done the most debates is Channel 12. And that is the station that he despises the most. And I know that may seem like harsh language, but this is very significant. You're a sitting governor. And now he may blame the fact that they're going to have the Republican, Ashley Kalis. The candidates are Matt Brown, Helena Folks, Nellie Gorbea, Ashley Kalis, and Dr. Luis Daniel Moniz. Now, I know there are some independents that are going to be upset that they're not included, but there's no guarantee. If you're an independent candidate for governor, there's no guarantee you're being included with anything. None. So that is, But that is, well, that gives you a sense of just how serious this whole situation is for Governor McKee. The fact that he's choosing to skip it. And what's interesting to me is he drops out of lineup for the first, no explanation. RIPAC has informed us he will no longer be participating. So I'm sure he's going to be asked about that. I don't know. We're going to have to wait and see how he's going to answer that. Now, again, it is interesting. There's no polling to show that Dr. Daniel Moniz, there's no polling that shows that he is a strong candidate, but he is being included in the debate. So, for the record, he was also expected to take part in a multi-language education round in the State House Library earlier this week that drew folks Gorbea Moniz, and then he didn't go to that. Very interesting. But this Dr. Louis Daniel Moniz, he is a Democrat, but there's no polling that shows that he has enough support and should be included. There are some other people running who, again, the independent candidates, you have to be a strong independent candidate to get included in these debates. But that is very significant that he is not going to take part in this. I think it's very, very significant, and it could be a sign of things to come. Because now it is interesting that they decided to, that they've decided to, have this press briefing today on the same day that they've decided to have this on the same day that they're announcing that they're not going to be doing the forum. They're going to have Steph Machado moderate the forum. All 6 candidates will be, there it is. Well, it says right there, Rhode Island Governor Dan Mckee. He's supposed to be part of it, and now he is obviously not part of it. So very, very interesting that he is pulling out on this. I'm not sure what to. Well, we know what it is, right? I mean, it is, in fact. There's no other way to look at this other than I believe now they may say conflict. They may say conflict, but the fact is, I believe it has to do. He, as I have said and wrote about, he does not want to stand on a stage and get pummeled. I just wonder if he's going to use the fact the Republican Ashley Kalis is going to be part of this as his out. That remains to be seen if they're going to use that excuse as they are out of why he is not going to participate. But make no mistake about it, folks. A poll comes out. He is considered the 3rd least popular governor in the entire country. And then on the same day, he is going to have. Oh, okay. We're learning more. The suspect that was shot last night was wanted for an attempted kidnapping in Little Compton. So that's interesting. So that's who was involved. He was wanted for an attempted kidnapping in Little Compton. And then we're going to learn more with what happened this afternoon from U.S. Marshals, State Police, Attorney General Peter Neronha, and the Woonsocket Police. So we're going to have to wait to find out more. But that's a new development. Channel 12, Governor McKee approval rating falls to 42%. Now, I also noticed that no one is saying 3rd least popular governor in the entire country. 3rd least popular governor. Channel 12 has some sound on this. I want to play it. So, the fact, this goes to what I had been saying. If he's willing to drop out of this, who's to say he's not going to drop out of all the debates going forward? So he had committed to this RIPAC debate. And now he drops out. Let me play the Channel 12 piece on this. Okay, here we go. His approval rating last year was 59%. He's down to 42%. Something they should be concerned about is he's almost underwater with his negatives. So this is the Channel 12 piece on Governor Mckee and his low approval rating. So this is Channel 12 did it as breaking news.
12 News Now at WPRI.com. I'm Ted Nesi. Well, we're getting a fresh look at how Rhode Island voters are feeling about Governor Dan Mckee, and it's a mixed verdict. This is the latest quarterly polling on governors all across the country from the website Morning Consult, which pulls that data over a 3-month period from their online polling all over the country. They pull each state out, and what they find is over the winter, they surveyed 1,840 Rhode Island registered voters and found 42% approved of the job Mckee was doing, 40% disapproved. So right about split. And it was down considerably from last spring, which was shortly after Mckee took over from Gina Raimondo. At that point, Morning Consult found 59% of voters approved of his job performance and only 18% disapproved. This, of course, comes as Mckee is preparing to face voters as he runs for re-election in the September Democratic primary. And then if he is the nominee, of course, into the November election, he faces opponents in both. Mckee actually ranked third from the bottom among the governors that they tested. Massachusetts Governor Charlie Baker, a Republican who, of course, is leaving office this year, not seeking another term, remains the most popular governor in the country with a 74% approval rating. And Connecticut's Ned Lamont, a Democrat who is up for re-election this year, was at 57%. The group also took a look at U.S. Senate approval ratings. They found Senator Jack Reed at 54% this winter, down from 58%, and Sheldon Whitehouse, as usual, a bit lower than Reed at 48%. We're, of course, continuing to track all the poll numbers as they come in during this campaign season. But for now, I'm Ted Nesi for 12 News.
You know, that is interesting that they went ahead and did that, and then we'll see what he says. I think I'm going to make a prediction, folks. Excuse me. Goodness. My goodness, I apologize, folks. This portion of the John DePietro Show brought to you by Lawn Doctor, your best lawn ever, guaranteed. It's Lawn Doctor. Give them a call today. Now, you can go on their website, but you want to sign up for their program where they don't just come out once. Early spring, spring line, late spring, summer, grub prevention, early fall, late fall, 8 visits. Be part of that program. Crabgrass control, time-release fertilizer, high calcium lime, time-release fertilizer again, broadleaf grassy weed control, grub prevention, organic big time fertilizer, and then potassium for improved root development. Folks, Lawn Doctor, I find an easy thing to do is go on their website, which is lawndoctor.com. Get a quick, easy quote. You can call them. Your best lawn ever, guaranteed. 401-392-1025 for Lawn Doctor. Folks, this portion of the John DePietro Show is brought to you by J. Perry Paving. Now, listen, if you've been thinking of getting maybe just your driveway paved, or whether it's your driveway or a patio, letter J, J. Perry Paving. They provide high quality, fair pricing, exceptional service. They'll give you a free estimate. Call them today for a free quote, 401-732-1730. Whether it is a brand new paving project or just a cracked driveway, J. Perry Paving has your back. Affordable, smooth, safe to drive on, licensed and insured contracting company. Look for them on Facebook. And remember, J. Perry Paving, no one is better to veterans than J. Perry Paving. Once a month, they give away, they do a driveway free for a veteran. Contact them. Maybe that's your mom or your father or your grandfather or your grandmother or your son or daughter or boyfriend or uncle. J. Perry Paving. No one is better for veterans. 401-732-1730. Folks, for J. Perry Paving. Well, right now at 12:53, good afternoon. So a lot of developments a lot of developments, a lot of news on this Thursday regarding the situation. I think the news with Governor Mckee, that is very significant that he is now pulling out of a debate. And it's I'm going to go along with, kind of what I've said. And then I think it's a matter of the fact that he's pulling out. They'll be able to say that some kind of a conflict came up. I think that's what they're going to say. Some conflict came up, but I think, and here's the thing: if you're Governor Mckee, there's this RIPEC debate, but this is a pretty significant. As much as a lot of people may not know RIPEC, but the candidates for Rhode Island governor won't be making their first joint appearance next week after Governor Mckee pulled out. The others are still going. But here's the thing. If you're him, I just don't know why, and this is a RIPEC thing, or his people, how they ever agreed to be on the same stage with Ashley Kalis. I think that is the out. It's one thing, I'm sure he doesn't want to be on the stage with Matt Brown. I would think Nellie Gorbea would not attack him that much. I would even bet maybe Helena Folks won't. But the two that, if you're the Mckee camp, where somebody that agreed, I don't think they realized that she was invited as well. The Republican candidate, Ashley Kalis. So that I think becomes the problem and potentially his out. Now, he's not going to say that. It's one thing he's going to be on a stage with progressive Democrat Matt Brown, who'd be taking shots and popping them. But it's another thing against the Republican challenger. And now that, though, that is something that really falls on his people. That falls on his people that they agreed that he would take part in a debate where she was involved. So now I'm sure the Mckee people don't want to go back and say, hey, listen, why is she included? But if they did, it would be fair. If you're a sitting governor, you could say, hey, listen, this woman just got here, and I don't care that she's got this money. I don't care that she's up on television and she's in a boxing ring. I am, the elected governor, and I'm supposed to stand on a stage with her. I think, again, though, I just wonder who in his camp agreed to have him do the debate, meaning in the fact that she's going to be on the stage. Folks, this portion of the program at 12:56 on this Thursday, and again, we go till 2 o'clock, is brought to you by Ron's Pastry Gourmet. Remember, everything fresh, baked fresh. They're open from 7 in the morning till 2 o'clock in the afternoon. Ron's Pastry Gourmet, 170 Royal Little Drive in Providence, right off of Silver Spring Street. They have the most, you could go there right now, delicious calzones and wimpy skimpy and sausage and pepper and sandwiches and chocolate donuts and the cupcakes and free coffee for first responders, police, and military. Ron's Pastry Gourmet, 170 Royal Little Drive in Providence. They're right next door to AAA in Providence, right off of Silver Spring Street, and they're open right now. Just put in your GPS, 170 Royal Little Drive in Providence. So that is a significant development that Governor Mckee is, we'll see where the rest of his day goes. Now, tomorrow, he's going to swear in his new head of the Rhode Island State Police. And Darnell Weaver. And that's going to be interesting but today, the governor agreeing to do a media back and forth with Lieutenant Governor Sabina Matos. It's coming up at 2:30. He's got a couple of things. Number one, he's pulled out of the debate. Number two, a poll comes out. He's the third least popular governor in the country. And his approvals rating has plummeted, and his disapproval rating has really gone up. He's got the FBI probe, he's got falling approval numbers, and now he's pulling out of an agreed debate. So now the Mckee people, a couple things. You wonder if they knew or planned to release that they were not going to be part of this. He pulled out of the debate for next Thursday. I think that's interesting. That's number one. And number two, I don't think they would have known that this poll was going to come out that showed his approval ratings have completely fallen. So, and then coming up later this afternoon, right now it's 12:59, they are going to have a briefing regarding the shooting that took place last night involving the state police Woonsocket with the violent fugitive task force. Now we're learning it had something to do with a potential kidnapping in Little Compton. So we're going to learn more about this. So here's what we're going to do, folks. We're going to break for the 1 o'clock news. Now, there's also major news with President Biden is proposing billions in aid to Ukraine. And I mean over 30 billion in aid to Ukraine to finally help them beat Russia. So we're going to break for the 1 o'clock news. Now, next hour, a lot more to go. Remember, radio only, AM 1380 or 99.9 FM, or you can listen online at the website, thepetro.com. Stay tuned. We're going to be back on the other side after the 1 o'clock news.